Hey there! So I didn't expect to be back so soon, well, so late, right? But I wanted to get my unfiltered, raw thoughts out, completely unscripted, on the new developments and shit that has been going on with Pillar Chase Recode. Just everything surrounding that, because I think this might be one of the worst things that has happened to the ASIM community. Oh, of course, ignoring all the Epstein links and the Ku Klux Klan over there in the corner. But this might genuinely be worse than the decisions that were made in the upcoming release dev team. Maybe. For those of you that don't know, let me catch you up. Okay, so basically, the Pillar Chase 2 dev team has recently been working on a complete remaster of the game under the name Pillar Chase 2 Recode, which intent was to reimagine the monsters and the core gameplay loop to make it better and more fun, and just overall a healthier game. Okay, last night they put a statement out, basically saying that certain monsters will not be coming to the Recode if they don't appear on a certain bucket list. Alright, the community was... Yeah, so I've been scrolling Twitter for a while, and people are not happy about the current changes. Ignore that. No particularly dog shit decision. We decided to tolerate it at the time, because we thought, oh no, it's gonna be 2 or 3 monsters at most, it'll be fine. Everything's gone. The whole roster is dead, the whole reason you would play this game is dead.
I know, but I'm bored. Let's go bowling!
Everyone's gone. And for a bullshit reason, too. Let me explain. There's been a lot of discussion as to what the actual reason was, with us being told that, they spoke to an attorney, right? Because of course, Pillar Chase 2, its identity is being an internet horror celebration. However, a lot of internet horror characters are based on real existing characters. And so, a lot of these characters that have been scrapped, infringed on said copyright. Characters like Stricken, Inkfell, Aldi, etc. They're all being removed and they're not coming back. Right? There's an issue with this, though, which I'll get to explain later. Another reason I've been seeing floating about, which could also be part of the reason, is that Pillar Chase, according to a moderator, Pillar Chase 2 is trying to become more serious. And they remove these characters because, quote-unquote, no one would want to be collabing with a game that has Evil Mario and Sonic.exe, quote-unquote. So there's a pretty high reason that the only reason they're butchering the game like this is for collab's sake, which is a whole nother can of worms that I will not get into, but that is a massive fucking loss on their part. That is a massive disrespect to the community, and a massive middle finger to the community. Now, you may be wondering how this decision impacts the game. Like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. Copyrighted characters shouldn't have been in the game in the first place. They were a risk at. They were at risk at most. Right? Okay, so basically every character that was once a reason why people even got into Pillar Chase as a whole. For example, I started playing Pillar Chase 2 because I saw that EXE was playable. Those characters are now gone.
Oh, that's just the nail that holds the entire building to the ground.
Very funny.
No, I'm serious.
There is no reason for beginners to get into the game unless they are interested in, like, the developer's OCs, which I assure you does not happen very often. Considering the whole gameplay loop of Pillar Chase 2 is just play a survivor, die without being able to do anything, and then get your monster round and struggle to kill people because the survivors suddenly get walked in. The gameplay loop is garbage, so the only actual reason you play the game is to have fun as the monster that you actually like and know. With those monsters gone, there is no reason to play Pillar Chase anymore. None of it. But it gets worse, because there's a lot of hypocrisy in this. So something that I've not told you guys is that there's been exceptions to this rule of no copyrighted characters. Let's go over the list. Suitmations is upcoming. Niloticus and Whist are upcoming. Basically a whole pissing on the, oh, we wanna go serious argument. Samsonite and Fuwadi are upcoming. MX and PCX are still upcoming. Jeff is upcoming. And Pinkie fucking Pie. Yes, you heard me right. Pinkie fucking Pie is upcoming.
Ah, it's so funny!
So you can see the hypocrisy going on here, with Froggy, herself a lead developer of Pillar Chase 2, basically stating that all of the designs that were made are bootlegs, which is just a really bad thing to say considering you're insulting your own development team. Well, yes, the designs may not be good copyright-free designs. It doesn't give you the right to just insult the developer's work like this. I'd also like to bring up the fact that a lot of characters, which they did have permission to use, are still getting scrapped. Characters like Baldi, Venomimic, and Tricky. Why? Because the Pillar Chase 2 development team insists on getting an official, fully fleshed out collaboration instead of taking what they have and using the permission that they've been granted in order to give us these characters, without any good reason. It's a really stupid move that's just powered by pure SLOP. I'd also like to bring up the fact that the creators were not warned about this, as in the creators of the characters that were removed. They were not warned about the decisions the Pillar Chase 2 development team was gonna make. Creators such as Raven, creator of EXE, have pulled permissions from the game of using their characters since there was a lack of communication. The Pillar Chase 2 dev team insists that they want to respect creators' wishes and respect them and their characters as much as is possible. And yet, they go out of their way to completely ignore the creators and not fight for their characters, which is just very disrespectful to them and incredibly irresponsible on their part. Another thing to mention, the reason I was so surprised about Jeff the Killer still being included earlier was because a lot of people don't know this, but Jeff the Killer has a very rocky copyright history. Not as rocky as Slenderman's, but it is still rocky. The guy that quote-unquote made the original creepypasta, the reason why Jeff the Killer is famous, that creepypasta was stolen, essentially, with the characters just being changed to the Jeff the Killer characters. The guy that posted it only really came up with the name Jeff the Killer, and he owns the copyright to him. Anytime Jeff is featured in a fan project, and that fan project is gaining some sort of revenue, he'll come over, and he will ask, well, not ask, more so demand for money. A lot of it. In order to keep Jeff inside of the game. Or the movie, or series, or whatever it is. And if that's not given to him, he'll threaten people with his, legal team. And they'll sue them. It's insane to me how they're more scared of Missman 12 and Crinkles than Nintendo. And, you know, on the topic of Missman 12, there's no reason for Baldi's rep to not be included on this game. Missman 12 has stated multiple times that Null, the main villain of Baldi's Basics Classic, is completely copyright free and free for anyone to use in their projects. So, why aren't they using him? Second thing, it's not a coincidence that the characters that have been scrapped are infamous, as the creators don't actually care for these characters. Characters such as Baldi, Chicken, Springtrap, Forest King, you know the list. They're all infamous for their terrible representation inside of their kits, with abilities being completely made up for Pillar Chase 2, with or completely misinterpreted, not actually having any actual things the characters do, with some exceptions, for example. Let's bring up Baldi and his representation. The anti-hearing tape. In the game, it is his biggest weakness, making him unable to detect the player unless they come into a direct line of sight. While in Pillar Chase 2, it is used as his biggest strength, making him be able to see everybody inside of the map at once. Blade Ninja has also stated that he has not played all these basics, which just leads me to believe he has also not seen any of the other media represented in Pillar Chase 2, or at least the characters that were scrapped. And if he has, he's only seen a very minimal level. The prices of Game Passes have also been going up. They have released a Recolor Game Pass, which lets you recolor most of the skins in the game. However, one issue with this is that the recolors are likely just gonna be 2. Like, you're only gonna be able to change 2 colors of the skin, not actually being able to fully customize it. And you have to pay 550 Robux for this Game Pass, which, yes, Robux does take a big cut out of Game Passes. However, that is not an excuse to not make them worth it. A lot of people are trying to deflect the criticism of this decision by saying that you shouldn't be a fan of Pillar Chase because you like the cast, rather because you like the gameplay. However, this, again, is just not true. This game's gameplay has never been good, and it still struggles to this day. The only thing that made this game tolerable was its cast. That's what made this game get so popular. It had something the rest of the asymmetrical horror genre on Roblox didn't. Internet horror. All the other ASIMs focus on Roblox exclusively, but Pillar Chase 2 had a unique flair. This was what let it stay up for so long, stay alive for so long. And the removal of these characters that people have wasted thousands of hours grinding to get to their maximum level, get all of the cosmetics, means that the PC2 development team has efficiently just wasted everyone's time. And they've said that they could hypothetically get replacement characters, but even if they do, they'll never bring the actual movesets that people like back. They refuse to. My last point before I send off this video is redesigns can work. I hate to bring up the fucking Ku Klux Klan again, but they have spectacular copyright-free designs. At their core, what they're doing is they're grabbing what made the original character that they had stand out with people, be so special and unique, and they're reusing the same core ideas of that design, the inspirations, to create something new, something lovable, that still has the same soul of the original. It gives off, for example, Slasher or The Altar. Slasher gives off Jason vibes despite being so obviously different and unique. Same with The Altar giving Flowers vibes despite being its own thing. That's how copyright-free redesigns should be. They should only give a vibe of a certain character that you know, but they shouldn't be that character. That's what PCX fails to do. That's what Chicken failed to do, what Stonehusk failed to do. They were all accessory swaps, slight hue shifts. And in that, they failed. Yeah, so I'm not coming back to this game, unless the decisions are reverted, because these are doodoo cheeks booty ass decisions that I'm not a fan of. If you couldn't tell by the overly dramatic, emotional segment about how Chicken's design sucks. Fuck that Tan Hedgehog. Fuck MX. Rename it to Soldier M or some shit. And like, get Jerry the Evil instead of Jeff the Killer or something. Give me all the money that comes out from this game, if any at all. If the game doesn't just immediately implode with like 23 players upon the recode release date. And give me the game, give me the game, give me the game. Give me Inkwell, give me Stonehouse, don't give me PCX, give me all of them, except PCX. Thank you, Joe Swanson.
Yeah, so subscribe, like the video, harass me for my opinion that is probably different than yours, and, bye.
What the fuck?
Look what you guys created. This is all because of you guys. You guys created this. You guys lied to me. Don't go to sleep tonight. I'm coming for you. Every single one of y'all in this stream right now. And you know you type straight in the chat.